Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk about how we'll use anti-gravity and quickly how we'll create your website and deploy it into any environment. So in this case, I'll show you to deployment in Google Cloud environment and what product I will use. I will explain during the deployment. So in this video, like a end-to-end development the website, then how to set the automation for the deployment, a manual deployment, how you quickly test the local environment, whether the application is up and running or not. So you'll check it. So let me show you the what we'll use. I use anti-gravity for this deployment. So one of my video which I have created, like how to download anti-gravity and install with respect to Linux, Mac and Windows based on your operating system, so you can able to install it. Then this is first step. Then next step, like if I move on to the, so this is my anti-gravity all set, so which I have installed on my Mac. And what I did here, I just click on open agent manager. Then you have to create a, let me show you here to how to create your open space. For example, here you create a new workspace. So you click on the new workspace, then you put the folder name and the project name, what you are going to do. So basically, so it will help to like the folder structure, like whatever the project you will be working on it. So then you just put the prompt here in the left hand side, as you can see here. So just let me zoom a little bit. So here you put the prompt, help me to create a website for me, whatever the website you are looking for. So details prompt ready, then put the here, and which language you will use, like a Next.js or Node.js or whatever language you want to use for the create a website. So you mention that, and then the code structure will be ready for your website. Then what we will do once as soon as your task done. So let me minimize the page. So in the left hand side, you see these are the folder structure we create, right? The Next.js, for Next.js, I have used Next.js, so it will create a public node module, next folder, then src a folder, and then all these required details will create, and what all are page wise it will create. Then, of course, once that is done, so if you want to create a container-based workload, so then ask to create a Docker file to create a container-based application to deploy. Once your Docker file is ready, it should be a stage, multi-stage Docker file, so it will be a lightweight profile. And to minimum Docker file you will create to handle the application in lightweight way. Then what we'll do once your Docker file is ready, now you want to test locally. So before create the Docker file, so you have to check locally whether your application is up and running or not. So this command will use npm run build. So as soon as you put here, so your locally it will run your application. So in this case, if your application is not running locally, so you have to start the npm start. So it will basically it will start, then it will work. So let me quickly. You can see the application is locally up and running. Right. As soon as the local environment tested, so now we'll be ready with the deployment of container base. So you will create a Docker file. So just put the prompt here, create a Docker file. So we'll create a Docker file based on your code, right? Once that is done, then you just here you put the prompt like to help me to create a deployment file into Cloud Run, for example, in this case. So it will create like this, step by step. It will follow. Here there is a deployment.sh file here. So this will create the whole deployment script. So just to basically you just run here dot deployment dot plus deployment. Just you hit enter, so it will directly start the deployment into your cloud environment. So for that, some of the prerequisite is required, like the image name of the artifact, and then all the project, which region you want, and then your service name, project. Of course, you have to mention your project ID. Then, of course, you need to enable some of the required API like Cloud Run, Artifact Registry, Cloud Build. and then create a repo, and then start deploying into the Cloud Run. So this is all about the manual deployment. Now what we'll do, we need a automation. For example, we need some changes here. For example, here we want to change something. For example, here I change something, this test which is not available in our uh, live website. So quickly just show you in the live website. As you can see, uh, here there is no only the Vishwanath Giri. So if I update here this content, so it will reflect me. So for that, what I will do here, just ask to ready with my, for example, we want to deploy through GitHub. So just ask to write a deployment.yml file. So it will write like this, deployment.yml file. So once your deployment.yml file is ready, so what you'll have to do, you'll just use this command to run your application. So this three line of command you have to add here. Once updated the code and use here. Let me zoom. So first you add git add, then git commit and git push. So as soon as you push the code into our deployment, so what will happen? Let me show you here. You see, deployment started. If I click on action, so you see my deployment started. You see, this is a completely automated deployment. And once you updated the code, so it will automatically deploy into your target environment, which I have set for Cloud Run. So you see my deployment status here is the live deployment is going on, right? So once the successfully deployed, it will show successfully deployed, and how many time it is taking to the whole deployment. It is also here in Cloud Run. Also, if I refresh, so you see my deployment also be started here as well. You see my deployment started, so is the pending state. So once it is completed here as well, so it's so deployment completed. So everything is in an automated way. Don't like say manually you go here and there and do something. No, only piece of the code you updated in your environment and just git push, so your code will be deployed to your target environment. This kind of setup which I have created, so that GitHub repo which I also share with you to follow the code structure and all. So it will be easy to set up in your environment to how the develop website and deploy into cloud environment in an automated way. So as you can see, it's now the deployment already is going on, and also deployment now still going on. Okay, so once deployment completed, so then successfully it will show you the deployment successfully deployed. And then quickly we can check whether the changes which we have made that is reflected on my website or not. Quick way to like build a website and deploy into your environment. So this is the end-to-end process. And if I will explain a little bit more about the guide, the deployment guide. So what platform and what the framework I have used, Node.js, and the tech stack like the language TypeScript, and all the deployment is Dockerfile. And installation steps first we clone, and then the dependency npm install. Then the locally if you want to check, so you'll just run npm run there. Then if your production build test, you can npm run build. And then prerequisite for the cloud environment, of course, need a GCP project and Google Cloud CLI. You need to log in, and GCP once login, then GitHub repository you need, and then billing need to be enabled with Google Cloud Console, of course. Then one-time cloud infrastructure setup on the Workload Identity Federation to eliminate static JSON key from maximum security. So I have used Workload Identity Federation. So for that, you need to enable the required API and then create a service account. And then with respect to the service account, you need to create an identity pool through gcloud command or console. You can create once create and link to the GitHub repo, right? Like that. See, this is the GitHub user.com. the token and action. And then on the identity and access management to provide the rule and responsibility, which rule will be associated with the service account. We just apply that rule to map with the service account, and then finally allow GitHub to impersonate with the service account. This is the gcloud command to impersonate with a workload identity user rule. And then deployment method like the option A with the GitHub action, and manual deployment, as I explained, use the deployment script is ready, then you just use this to manual deployment. And yeah, this is all about the guide of the deployment guide. But quickly check you see successfully deployed or deployment successful. Now we check uh, the application as deployment successful. So now back to, and you can see just 5 minutes ago deployment, just click over there and access the public URL. And the changes which we have made, that we quickly check here. Just want to check the changes which we have made here is reflected or not. So this is all about like this video, like how quickly build a website, and then uh, how to deploy manually, how to test locally, then how to deploy in an automated way into the cloud platform. So this is all about this video. I hope this video will be helpful to create a website with using the anti-gravity and quickly deploy into how to go to live. So I hope this video will be helpful, and the GitHub repo link definitely I'll share with you in the description below in my video. And thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and looking forward to see you in the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel to get more video like this. Thank you.